Well, I guess it depends how long it was there, right?
Right. Are we ready to start?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cool. So, welcome to session 16 of Wildemount. We're getting up in the numbers
Jesus.
now. I know, yeah. In the last session, you arrived at the Glory Run Roadhouse and you were caught up in an investigation, a murder investigation of 3 righteous brand soldiers, who you eventually realised it was a doppelganger spy from the Kryn dynasty who possessed a magic of chronomancy, not chronomancy, graviturgy, sorry, I always mix those two up, warping areas of the room and killing countless more righteous brand soldiers in the room before eventually Blossom managed to leap up into the air with a fearsome dagger strike and cut the assailant down. I will move you back to the scene of the crime, as it were. Let's go down a little bit.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Immediately, what is describe to me each of you what's your reaction to the pure chaos around you. This single assailant has killed more than almost 20 people.
Oh my god, guys, are we the baddies?
No, Blossom, we couldn't help all those people dying.
There's so many, and then we're alive, and I don't know.
It's just a guard captain, right?
Yeah, he kind of looks shocked, even for someone who clearly looks like a battle-hardened veteran, and he just looks down at you, Gertrude, as a member of the Cobalt Soul, and just says, thank you for what you've done here today. Without... You've done a great service for the Empire in uncovering this spy, but I can't help but feel saddened by what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, that many people would have died eventually, but kind of just looks around all the bodies. How long would it have taken?
Quite. This is a blow to not only the state of the Empire and these people and their families, but also the war efforts. We were part of the reinforcement effort added to the Ashgard garrison since it's been taken.
Oh, looks around at all the dead guys. Shame you couldn't have sent that monster to fight for you or something.
Quite. Please, as a member of the Cobalt Soul, where are you travelling? North?
Yeah, we're going to Novgorod next.
Do you plan on heading closer to the capital at all, to Rexentrum?
Yeah, that's our ultimate destination, but we're stopping off in Novgorod first.
Please, if you could report to... let me just quickly look at the name, because it's been a while. Gazetteer...
Vice Ganji.
Quickly look. Their name
There's my
is...
Wildemount book.
Oh, it's not on that one. It's in factions section. This bit. Here it is. Where is it? Could you please report this situation to Crown Marshal Hayden Damarag?
Marshal Damarag.
Yeah, Crown Marshal Hayden Damarag. I'll put it in the chat for you in case you want to copy and paste it. I'll also make a note of it in my own notes. Marshal Hayden Damarag. Cool. Yes, if you could report to him what's happened, then, well, hopefully he can provide you with some proper reward for your actions here. Here, take this, and he chucks to you, Gertrude, this small stone. Do a quick Arcana check just to see if you'd recognise it.
21.
Easily, you recognise it as a stone of good luck, or
Oh.
otherwise known as a luck stone. He says, I don't think I'll be needing this anymore. It seems my luck has run out. But show him this. He'll recognise it as each of the captains has one. Within the different righteous brand troops, he'll recognise it as one of ours. And since you're a member of the Cobalt Soul, no less, he's more likely to be trusting.
Yeah. She puts it on. Is that what he wanted? Or is it more to recognise him?
What was that? Sorry.
Did he give it to her?
Yeah, he
to
gave.
keep?
Yeah, he's saying he would. If you asked him, he'd say, "Yeah, keep it. I have no use for it now. I'm not going to the front lines any soon after this."
Yeah. She looks at Blossom and be like, "Look, Blossom! Look, Blossom! It looks like a cat."
Oh, it does. It does look like a cat.
I would say, in fact, it would look slightly differently because this particular one is a Dwendalian Empire one. So it would have, instead of a cat, the head would be in the shape of like an owl or like a sort of a bird of prey, similar to like this symbol. If you imagine just the head of the bird in this.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Look, Blossom! It's an owl. Owls are meant to be smart."
Oh, they're meant to be smart.
Yeah, but they're not actually that smart because most of their eyes take up their skull, so they actually have pea brains.
Oh, that's sad. My brain is bigger than a pea as well, so.
Well, being dumb isn't a bad thing, Blossom. It just means that you're more. Looks around. Accepting of things.
Well, I'm pretty smart actually, so I'm definitely smarter than an owl. With the owl, so this little badge thing is probably even bigger than an owl's brain.
Alan looks at it, and how big is it compared to an owl's head, or like a small owl's head?
It's like, imagine you make a circle with your finger and thumb. It's about the size of the luck stone.
Probably a small owl's head. Probably bigger than a small owl's brain, definitely.
Oh yeah, I forgot they come in lots of different sizes. I've only seen one though. But yeah.
Do owlins exist in Wildemount?
They, I would probably rope them in with the Aarakocra, who certainly do exist. Feel free to do a history check if you want to see what you know about Aarakocra.
Oh no, Aarakocra definitely exists, right? Because
Yes,
our guy's one.
13. You would actually know that, like many across Wildemount, especially in more remote areas, and like maybe even in like the tillage, Gertrude, if like there was any talk of it, some people would be like, they're just a myth, sort of thing. But you do infrequently see some descend from the mountains and places like that. Sometimes they're more common out on the Menagerie coast.
What was the name of their Castellan? What's his name?
Rick. Elliot.
Yeah, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's people who look like owls. They look a bit like Rick, but I think they're a bit more rare.
Like owl versions of Rick. Well, Rick is pretty cool though.
Yeah. I hope he's looking after the house.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Well, I hope Batista's been making the box fizz.
Gertrude just looks crestfallen. I'm like, I'm sure he has.
Maybe we should send him a letter.
Maybe if you want to send him a letter, Blossom, you know, you're getting on in your writing. Maybe you could try and send one on your own.
I'll try.
And then give it to me and I'll send it.
Okay, that's a good idea, Gertrude.
Whilst you're chatting, the captain is sort of reaching over this doppelganger's body, and he sort of pulls out two things. One looks like sort of like a long, sort of cylindrical, sort of steel sort of tube, and also there's like a small circular object with like a that looks sort of like it's black, and it's kind of like a cut bit of like obsidian with it's got like a circular engravement in top that sort of shines sort of luminescent blue. And he sort of holds them up. He says, "Oh, I don't know what these are. You're welcome to take them. Maybe show them to the Crown Marshal in Rexentrum. Perhaps they might be useful bits of evidence. I need to report to the front line and tell them that no reinforcements will be coming anytime soon."
That's bad, right?
He nods. You're welcome to do. Do you have identify, Gertrude? I can't remember.
No, I don't think she does. No. She's only got comprehend languages.
Yes. Okay.
She could, oh no, she's not. Oh, she is proficient in Arcana, maybe.
Yeah. Let me just quickly check the things on these.
Oh look, there's one survivor. I forgot about him.
He's going to have a fun time mentally over the next few years.
Yeah.
Where is it? Identifying magical items. You're proficient in Arcana, aren't you, Gertrude?
Yeah.
Make 2 Arcana checks for me. If anyone wants to help, they're more than welcome to.
Oh, it's shiny.
25 and a 17.
Would anyone be helping Gertrude, or seeing like?
I don't know,
providing the
it's
knowledge?
shiny.
Well, I don't think Blossom can
probably
really
not.
help. No. I think Snooper would probably be able to help you. He's got quite an eye for things. So I'd say that my first one would roll be a 25, and roll the second one with advantage as well, Gertrude.
Mm.
10 and then 16. The first one you recognise as a chime of opening.
Whoa.
The second, you get a sense of what it might be, but it's also something different at the same time. It looks like a sending stone, but it also doesn't quite match up with any sending stone you've seen before. It feels quite unusual.
Mm-hmm. She would she'd give a chime of opening to Blossom. She's like, if you hit that against something when you can't get a door open, they'll open the door for you.
Oh my god, is he better than thieves' tools?
Well,
I
Well,
also say you would notice, Gertrude, that the chime of opening only has 5 uses left on it.
okay. She wouldn't say that. She wouldn't.
Yeah.
It might be good if we don't want to leave a mark or anything, or there's a really hard door.
Oh my god, we could go into all the fancy places.
Exactly.
That'd be fun. What do we do now, though? Everyone's dead, and what happens? Do we just go?
You are welcome to go. I will see to any more of the guests that are here and help them on their way. I will also help my men and remaining men, will help us gather the bodies and, you see Pamaris is kind of comforting the drow next to him, and he kind of looks up and he says, "Well, we could all have been dead if it wasn't for you." And he kind of reaches into his, like, the sort of apron, and he says,
Here, have this. It's a cookie of fortune. I can't offer much, but
Who's that to?
To you, Blossom.
Oh my god, it's a cookie! She eats it.
Do you actually eat it? It does feel magical.
Yep.
Okay, if you want to search
Oh
a
my.
cookie of fortune D&D Beyond, you can see what it does.
Well, he's just handing her a cookie. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
That's fine. You do what you want with it.
Oh, no. That was really yummy.
I can't actually remember what it
Um,
does. I made this item so long ago. I found it long ago.
Oh, it's on here.
Should be. Cookie of fortune. There you go. You may pull the ribbon from the cookie without damage its an action, or you may attempt to as a bonus action. Make a dexterity check, Blossom.
Okay. Dexterity check
Yeah.
or save.
Check. Oh, you
A.
break the cookie, break the ribbon, and it breaks all magical property from it. And you see Primara's just kind of like,
oh, I didn't expect you to eat it all up that quickly.
Oh. Well, it's really nice. There's lots of little nummy tasty bits in there. Chocolate and no.
I mean, it didn't have any chocolate in it. It was a fortune cookie.
Oh. That's why there was chocolate in it, but it's still nice. Maybe I ate it too quickly.
Maybe so. I think we need to be alone.
and he kind of shepherds. Oh, did not mean to grab the body. Shepherds the drow back off to the kitchen, and you can hear them gathering stuff, etc. What's Farian doing during this time, Tom?
He's been kind of looking down at the bodies and somewhat memorizing their faces. Also not, like, I think he's gone through like a bit of turmoil of different emotions, angry, sad, just kind of like exhausted, because whereas Blossom and Gertrude have got a perspective from within the Empire to the war, he's much more outside of it. And so to him, this is just like this awful waste of life. And he's not... it doesn't feel like a victory over the Kryn dynasty or what have you. It's just like, oh, all these people died. These merchants passing through just died.
Yeah.
But a stupid war that they had nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm.
So he feels quite sad and exasperated by it. But yeah, I think as he steps over, he's just like, we should leave this place.
Yeah, I think we should too. There's not really much to do. Apart from say goodbye. Maybe a dramp noodle for the ride. He yells out of the kitchen.
I don't think they're in the mood to make drop noodles, Blossom.
That's fair. Maybe if they have leftovers.
Maybe we should just leave them to it. I'm surprised they're staying here, to be honest.
Maybe they won't.
Yeah, they don't seem to reply, Blossom. They're kind of caught up in their own shit right now.
Maybe I just sneak in there a little bit and see if there's any.
If you want, do a stealth check for me.
Gertrude's just like, come on, Legume, let's go.
Live there, perp.
How does Legume look like he feels about all these murdered people?
Do an insight check for me.
Just immediately imagined the fucking side-eye fish face, just like, die.
Yeah.
I'll get to you in a second. Blossom. I'm going to do a deception check for Google. Yeah, you can... It's interesting, Gertrude, because only a week ago, Lugoon would have probably... You get the impression that based on you in particular have spent the most time with him. you get the impression that Lugum almost a week ago probably wouldn't have given a shit about these people, probably would have been like pulling at their arms and kind of like, you know, gnawing on them perhaps. But you see, you've started to get the impression more and more that the more time he spends around you, it's almost like a dog. He becomes kind of more like reactionary to your emotions, and it's not necessarily that he's feeling sad, it's more just he's feeling maybe anxious, that he can tell that you're feeling sort of sad or kind of disturbed by what's happened.
Yeah.
And Blossom, sorry, go on.
She pat Lugoon.
Yeah, he doesn't really react to it at all or anything, but you know, it goes a small way in its own way, I suppose. Let me just do system checks. Yeah, neither Primaris or I forgot the name of the drow now. What was his name? Wraithus notice you, Blossom, as you sort of dip inside the kitchen, your small diminutive form. They seem to be caught up in their own conversation.
Just looking for some Dramp noodle to take.
Do an investigation check for me. It doesn't take you long to find there is some leftover Dramp noodle in one of the sort of pots to the side that you could probably sneak off.
Oh my gosh, she just gets like really excited. She finds it like quietly. Oh my god, that's so bird Dramp noodle. Just as she picks it up, gonna sneak back out.
Yeah, do another stealth check for me. Or no, sleight of hand as well to see how well you grab it. Stealth check is pretty good. Oh, the sleight of hand's even better. Yeah, I think at that point you easily sneak out, and let's see if this guy even notices you. I doubt it. Nope. No, nobody. None of them notice you. Too caught up in what's has happened.
Yeah.
You see some people start sort of making their way down from the stairs, Blossom, as you do. Some people who are kind of like rushing over to their sort of dead companions. You get the impression that perhaps they were sort of looking down the stairs but too afraid to come down, but with all the noise and sounds of combat. But in the aftermath, some of them are kind of rushing down, tending to their fallen comrades and fallen family members.
Gosh. As she steps out of the kitchen, then if she sees them doing that, she's like, steps out, she's like, oh, I found some! Oh dear. And she sort of looks over with her pot of Dramp noodle. Okay.
Before the soldiers went in, Natalie, I wanted to
go ahead.
do something as Pyrian came up to them. He would use Druidcraft for its first use, which is he'd open his hand, not towards the soldiers, but to look himself. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours. The effect might manifest as a golden orb for clear skies, a cloud for rain, falling snowflakes for snow, and so on.
Interesting.
What does he see?
You would see there would be a light rain in your journey ahead of you. A cold, light rain, you think, that is the kind of rain that would make not particularly the surrounding grounds particularly soaked or wet or swampy in the grass, but it would certainly get yourselves and your clothes sort of soaked to the skin.
He would say to he would address them, "Soldier, I'm sorry for your patriots. It will rain soon. You may want to hurry burying their bodies."
He nods and doesn't respond, but you can see they're quite... Whilst these are battle-hardened people, you know, they're still just ordinary folk at the end of the day, and they're not used to losing this many comrades in a situation where they thought was, you know, quite raucous and joyful only the night before. You know, the story of glory, of war, is something that can catch many people up inside it, and this is maybe, you get the impression, Firian, that for these particular two, this might be their first real loss of real exposure to the horrors of war. They look quite shell-shocked, if anything, but one of them kind of sort of sparks their eyes alive a moment and sort of says, "Oh yes, thank you. We'll get on it as soon as possible."
Gertrude would look at Virion and be like, "Is there anything we can do to help them dig a pit? There's a lot of bodies in there."
Could take on the shape of good at digging.
Please,
Well-
he holds his hand up and says at this moment now, sort of more steadied his eyes a little bit, that initial shock, kind of being overtaken by this sort of sense of a more of a battle-hardened trained soldier. Says, "Please, it's not necessary. We will have to account for all the bodies and their belongings, and there's a lot of documentation to be made before their bodies can be returned to their families. We will certainly not be burying them here." Oh, have I lagged out? No.
No.
Sorry, I can never tell with this computer.
Wild mother be with you. Walks.
Blossom is inside. Well, she's picked up a big spoon and is like offering the giraffe noodle to everyone that looks dead. Like, it was really tasty and it might help. You know, or waving.
You're quite laggy, Hannah. Me and
Oh.
Oh,
Did you
fine.
hear what I said?
you cut out the last sort of end of it for me.
Oh. That's,
What did
that's
you
right.
say?
Just sort of waving it in their face a little bit, the giraffe noodle.
Yeah, no, they do not seem interested. Some of them seem a little bit annoyed at you, if anything.
Well, if you don't want it, that's okay. It might make you feel better.
Yeah, they're not even responding.
Okay.
They're caught up in their own grief.
And she leaves. No giraffe noodle. Now.
My internet's gone to shit. I might have to connect to my hotspot. Sorry about this, guys.
No worries. What happened to our naked man?
He's
Is he
upstairs asleep.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys haven't even woken him up yet. He hasn't even woken up from this.
Thought we were forgetting something.
We don't really need him, though, do we?
Where was he going? Were
He
we
was-
taking him
he
with
was-
us for a reason?
He was going to Nogvarot. You're more than welcome to go wake him up if you choose to.
Might as well.
Mm.
Might die though.
Yeah. I mean, I on, you know, in that, it's just like, eh.
Yeah, I think Ferian paused for a moment and just be like, are we keeping stride with what's his face?
As you're talking, the sort of like top window kind of like bangs open. He's like, "What a day it is!" and kind of looks down. It's like, "Oh, are you on your merry way? I thought we were travelling together."
You probably don't want to stay here. There's been a lot of people murdered downstairs.
What?
Yeah, you better just get going. It's probably better to go out the window than through the tavern, to be honest.
Do a persuasion check. It's not greatly high DC, but
She's like very serious.
yeah, no.
Oh god.
You actually met the DC exactly. So he's like, okay. Let me just get what clothes I have and my bits, and kind of looks dead. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore, and chucks the loot out the window of the broken loot of Jessica, and sort of a few moments later with his backpack kind of drops down and kind of sort of looks behind him through the window and is like, "Oh, goodness,
Yeah.
what happened here?"
There is a lot of action. There's sadness.
On the road, but we should get going.
Oh, wait. Oh, go get iceberg.
And
Go
the
see that
cart.
iceberg.
I can't remember. What
Yeah.
was it called? The
The sandwich.
Sandwich.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, you could get iceberg, and you could get all your bits, and yeah, gathering Nilcast together as well. You could get back on the road quite quickly. So you would know that it's another. I'll move you over to the map. Another 3 days travel towards Nogvarot from here. Let me get some more appropriate music.
We better get going, Blossom. We've still got to catch up with your dagger.
Oh my god, Demo! Yeah, you're right. He's probably in the pocket. He's probably touched the gross rag by now. Oh no.
Yeah, most definitely. He probably has.
Rick, iceberg full speed.
Okay, so yeah, we'll like with the car and your previous roll, I think you managed to get it, so you can probably get there a bit faster. So it's about 90 miles to Nogvarot, but I think at a medium pace with the car and iceberg pulling it and everything you've done, you could probably get there in pretty much dead on 3 days. Arriving, the day is the I'll quickly get my calendar up. It is the 13th, I believe. I want to see what day you would arrive. So you would probably arrive on the 16th, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 days before the Hazel Festival, and then to get to Wrexham itself is another sort of 150 miles, so another 4 days. So you've probably got like, you could spend a week in Nogvarot really if you wanted to.
We'll see. We'll see what's there.
I did not understand a word of that, but
We'll see. We'll see what's there. We'll see what's
yeah,
there.
quite indeed. So on the first day of travel, there's one thing. Gertrude, I imagine Gertrude would be quite intrigued by this particular sending stone she's found that doesn't match other sending stones, and Gertrude is more than familiar enough with arcane objects to know that some, whilst not immediately identifiable, and some that can only be defined, especially very rare magic items, can only be identified with a identify spell, that you know with about 4 hours of study you could probably figure out where this has come from and what this is, just going through your notes and you're exploring your own mind for knowledge. And I think throughout the course of this day, if Gertrude were to spend even some time reviewing what this item was, you start to realise that this sending stone looks quite ancient. And do a quick history check. Just as this has not really got a DC attached to it, it's more just to see how much. If Gertrude is familiar, holy shit, 23. You are very familiar with the stories and the storied history of the time before the calamity, the Age of Arcanum. You know, having read about it, it's often described as a time in Exandria where some people have grew arrogant, seeing their arcane gifts as proof that the gods held no sway over their fate. A belief that developed that enough understanding they could too become as powerful as the gods. And you know, in this time there were floating cities that crossed Exandria's skies, and there were incredibly powerful societies of mages that could bend they could bend reality to their will with magic, allowing them to do difficult tasks with unknown speed and always striving to innovate. And you get the impression that this particular artifact looks like it's almost definitely a sending stone, but it looks much older, and it looks like the design, this is definitely from the Age of Arcanum period. And sort of with tinkering with it a little bit, Gertrude would realise that it is, like I said, a sending stone from the Age of Arcanum. So you can add to your D&D Beyond inventory a Age of Arcanum sending stone.
Okay.
And if you want to read out what that does to everyone else once you've edited it.
Ooh, okay. Where is it? This unique sending stone is an artifact made during the Age of Arcanum. During this period of history, arcane magic was pushed to its absolute limit, and magic items that may seem advanced in the current era truly pale in comparison to the wonders created during this fabled Age of Exandria's history. This sending stone can be used to cast a modified version of the spell Sending while attuned to the sending stone. One may concentrate on the spell for up to 10 minutes and support simultaneous communication. Once the spell has been cast once, the magic fades and can't be cast until the following dawn.
Cool. So you get like a proper phone call.
Yeah, you would be able to essentially get like a proper phone call from this this sending stone.
Yeah, she would be interested in attuning this item overnight, I think.
Yeah.
Seeing where it goes.
You could certainly do that. Could someone also roll me a d20 during this day?
Oh, here it comes now. 13.
Okay.
Lucky 13.
Yeah, so the first trek of your journey, the first day, you get about 30 miles, and having left quite early, you the day is quite long. It's definitely tiresome on your feet, even if you are sort of travelling the back of the cart for much of the journey. It is just exhausting. This leg of the journey, as as Vivian much predicted, sort of not heavy rain, but the kind of rain that really soaks you to your skin begins to fall down and sort of pave the way for what you sort of experienced the previous night. Gertrude, you would be able to attune to this item throughout this time. Is there anything else anyone else would do throughout the first day or the first night as you sort of begin camp?
Blossom's going to try and talk to Demo again. Sits on the floor, covers herself in mud.
Do a wisdom check for me. 18. Blossom, you do like sort of close your eyes and really focus, and Blossom, who is usually a scatterbrain, her closing her eyes, it's almost like a flash of images, like in a film where someone experienced some kind of intense flashback. That's how crazy and jumbled and messy the mind of Blossom Thugwacker is. But she kind of just like focuses the images down a little bit, and then gets this little moment of quietness, which is not Blossom is not used to, and it's kind of dark and slightly scary as this kind of like narrows into kind of a narrow tunnel, like a train going into a tunnel, and then eventually the other side you once more see, you almost like feel this, you don't see anything directly in your mind, but you feel this connection to something else beyond where you are, and you feel the sense of like a you can almost like when you've got your phone in your pocket or something, like it just feel, you can feel it walking in, but usually you're not even aware of it's there, but once you sort of make yourself aware of it, suddenly you can feel this thing in your pocket and you become more aware of it, and it feels that that's there. And whilst with an 18, Demo does not say anything, you certainly get the impression that wherever he remains is still within a dark place that's kept within rags and other mundane items. Do an investigation check to see what other kind of things might, you get the feeling might, based off just the feel alone. No, you're really not sure. It just feels like rags and maybe other items that Blossom can't really quite make the feel out of in her mind. But it's quite interesting, this connection, and I think Firion, just watching Blossom do this is quite disturbing, probably for you. I think you watch Blossom as she like really almost innately just focuses herself, and Gertrude as well. I imagine it's quite confusing to see Blossom and just anyone be able to just to focus themselves, and for someone like Blossom to focus themselves in this way. And I think Fearin in particular, you do definitely get this sense. It's almost like this is what it feels like when a caster or yourself is or Gertrude is casting something ritually, and it's quite odd. It's very odd to see Blossom in this manner.
Yeah. Puts her fingers up to her temple. She's like, "Oh, Demo, he's in her pocket still." She's still closing her eyes, covered in mud.
Gertrude did look at Miriam like, she really wants that dagger back. I'm not sure if she'll be the same if she doesn't get it.
I'm considering tapping into the Wild Mother's power to better hunt for little Demo.
Did you try and help with an item made of metal?
Consider it helping Blossom. What she does with her choices is free for her to pick.
Well,
I do, however, worry that she's going to burst a blood vessel if she clenches any tighter. I think you'd probably bonk Blossom on the head at some point.
Gertrude
Worried
could
she's
do the
gonna pass
whistle
out.
to break it as well. She'd be like, wee!
Whoa! Hey! I was just getting into the train of it, where I was just, there's a tunnel. It was tiring though.
It's impressive, the connection you're making, Blossom, to Demo.
She just
But
falls back down into the mud.
you should be careful with fostering powers that others often take great time to achieve.
Oh. Well, what power's that then? I was just thinking really hard.
Could describe much magical abilities thinking really hard.
Oh. Well, even this one, and she says, this one in your mind, as she sends message.
His expression doesn't change at all. Yes.
What about this one? And she makes a spider appear on your hand. Minor illusion.
Yes.
What about? She just keeps doing spells at you.
Virion uses Druidcraft to make the smell of a skunk appear around Blossom's face.
Oh no, the bee smells! And she sticks her face in the mud to try and get rid of it.
Blossom, I've been thinking about whoever took Demo.
What
was that?
It's gone, Blossom.
We can't be gone. She's pulls her face back out of the mud, wipes her nose and face. And she's like, no, we get him back though.
When we get to Novgorod, we should check the poorest inns. I can't imagine he had much money on him, and after running a whole gauntlet like this, he must have stopped there for a while. So I think that's our best shot when we get to Novgorod.
Okay, we look out really good for really poor places and people with big pockets. Big Demo's really big. And it's got to fit a lot of rags in there. Definitely look for smelly people. And yeah.
Gertrude, remember where this party came from? Did they say? The ones who were raiding the Crisfell thicket.
The only thing that you would know is that two of them seem to recognise Firion. But I don't think Firion's really shared much on that since, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope.
Oh. So unless you want to ask Firion, you're not aware at all.
Yeah, well, I don't think she'd jump to that straight away. He just thinks he's probably going to stop in Novarot.
So probably then, if he's heading north, the next closest city is that you know is Novgorod.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the meantime, sort of you see around the campfire where you're made camp for the night, you see Lugum is kind of sitting close to the fire and is kind of occasionally like sitting there for too long, and then he realises his feet are starting to get too hot and sort of starts like running around, kind of like splashing his feet in the mud next to him, and spends some time kind of like gnawing on the bones of any small creatures he might have hunted on the way, or perhaps just the sort of meats of rations and stuff and like that. Snooper would be sort of snitting quite quietly. He would have like a set of like spectacles that sort of come out from the top of his head and like below and sort of remain in front of his eyes as he sort of scribbles notes down on sort of parchment before him, like a large set of parchment that he keeps in his backpack. And finally Nilkas would very much be sort of like strumming and playing a few tunes occasionally, especially with keeping particular fascination around Lugum and anything that he's doing during that time.
No, you got one more.
Go ahead. Oh, Iceberg.
Iceberg!
Of course, Iceberg would be mechanically sitting there like a mechanical horse does, staring out into space without seemingly any purpose.
What are you talking about? You got loads of purpose. Good Iceberg.
Doesn't respond.
See?
Not directly now, but throughout this whole journey, Gertrude will be reading these cider notes and working out how she can scale this operation up with a cheap money.
Do a
Like giving, she wants to work out an amount where they could set up a cider operation at their base.
Yeah, do a investigation check for me.
Oh, I was so close to in that 20.
12. Where did I make notes of what you had to find? I believe I did. I mean, scaling up a cider process is Gertrude knows as much as you know, Kieran, on creating cider, I'd say. To really like put that in business into effect, it's going to take hiring a lot of people, she probably think, and maybe setting up. I mean, does she want to brew the cider herself? And if she does, then maybe they would have to talk about setting up a sort of brewery within Sparkular Base, which is going to cost a lot of money. Like, it's not going to be cheap.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're probably looking at, Gertrude might think 25,000 gold. To get that sort of kind of construction built.
And I know these apples are from a certain orchard, weren't they?
They were. There was 3 ingredients that I will post in the chat for you, so you do not forget. There were apples from the Pearlbow Wilderness, which I will reveal on the map because Gertrude would know where this is. It is up here. Should be able to see it now.
Right.
It's a large section of wilderness, can be quite dangerous. Nogorot's right on the edge though, so potentially that's somewhere you could go. Pears from the Kana Breach, which is up here. It's more in the mountains. You think probably based on the notes that they had would be that maybe there's some sort of trees that grow around the sort of base of the Kana Breach. Where you might be able to find them, probably the easiest to find, if anything. And also Blumenthal, which is sort of within the edge of the woods south of Rexentrum, which is something you've also read about back at Sparkular Base, Blumenthal, in terms of you very much specifically remember reading about the farming competition in regards to the giant aubergine that caused supposedly perhaps the sightings of what looked like a giant halfling.
Oh yeah.
And you also would know that the notes were written by a halfling journalist based out of Wrexham named Rosie Dusthair, who wrote those particular notes, and so that's something you could look into at some point. I know it's to do with her sort of more overall quest, but
yeah, she definitely wants to check these places out at some point.
Yeah, definitely sort of links up with Blumenthal in terms of your tasks.
Or find an investor.
Wrexham, you know, would be a very good place to find investment for that kind of thing.
Yeah. You might sneakily ask around in Novgorod as well, because it's kind of in the triangle of all the places.
Yeah, you could certainly ask.
She'd like sit back and smile. She'd be like,
Okay. Is there anything else?
Also,
oh, go ahead.
She's definitely going to spread that place is fucked, so everyone starts worrying about the supply.
Spread the what? Sorry.
She's going to spread the word that place got destroyed, so people start worrying. Outside the supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Firion would, I think, quite like sudden as they're sitting around the campfire, what have you. He'd just say, Nilkas, what are your thoughts on the war?
Well, they say Novgorod is the last bastion of defense. As those cricks come over the Dunrock Mountains, never really paid much mind to it, to be honest myself. I didn't live in Novgorod before the skirmish there. What was it, 10, 15 years ago now? I don't know, really. I've never paid much mind to it. You see the soldiers getting riled up, but I always think, people are more likely to come in and spend some time at the old toy shop when you've, fun and games, keep their minds off of things. Could be good for business, Sad to see people lose their lives, though. I'm not heartless. It all seems a bit pointless to me, if you ask me. Don't you really can't just get along?
Yeah, he looks at him as he says, pointless. Then he says, kind of scans his eyes over to Blossom and Gertrude, says, what are your experiences of the war?
When did the war start, Natalie?
The war began. Let me just double check exactly. It wasn't that long ago.
Let me just check my feed card.
Just check an exact date for you. The war probably would have begun early Fesseran, maybe like I'm gonna say, I can't find an exact date here. I'm gonna say like the last day of Seidenstar, which was the last month of in the last sort of month of summer before autumn sort of hit. So really like over a month ago. Not very long. Yeah. There's been Blossom would know this just based off, I know Blossom's not the most knowledgeable person, but she would know that there's been skirmishes for along the border for many, many years.
Okay.
But all-out war was not declared until just about a month ago.
I was just wondering what Blade Garden would have been like before the war. Would it have still been a military place?
Oh,
like
100%.
Yeah.
It's so close to the border that Blade Garden probably would have... And it's so close to the Ashgard garrison as well, which has been a heavily contested place. It's fallen from Kryn hands back to Dwendalian Empire hands, back to the Dynasty hands. It's a place that's highly contested and fought over. But these were really seen as border skirmishes for a long time. They weren't seen as it was never declared officially that all-out war was taking place until fairly recently.
Well, all I know is that we got a lot more business when my daddy Bricky got lots of more, bricking business when the war started, and he got a lot busier in Blade Garden, lots of people around, and it's kind of where I learned how to use daggers and stuff. So,
I think as well,
good, I
Blossom,
guess.
something to think about for Blossom herself is why she might have initially left for Huppadook. Really, she would have left as the war started. I think that probably would have been the catalyst, and especially her father's mind, who I picture as being quite a overly protective man in his own way. I think he probably would have told you and many of your other siblings to go seek your fortunes elsewhere whilst things are still good.
And he did get a lot of business, but he also got really dangerous, and that's why we had to go around and find different money and stuff like that, and which is good in a way, because but also bad, because lots of fights, although they can be really fun to watch.
Yeah, Firion just kind of watches quietly as Blossom goes through this.
She just starts telling you how she learnt before she sort of left how to use a dagger, pretty much, and that's when she fell in love with daggers. She's like, yeah, my friend, who I can't remember the name of now, he taught me how to use daggers in secret, and then also this wizard guy who I nagged to make me help me learn magic as well. He was there. That's where I learned it. But then and then everyone started going out to fight, and some people didn't come back. And, you see, she looks kind of sad at that thought.
Yeah.
And people not coming back.
Thank you, Blossom.
Oh, that's okay. Why'd you ask though?
I'm curious how people who aren't soldiers or rulers might experience the war.
That's yeah. Well, there's a lot more soldiers now than there was before. I guess you just become one.
Yeah, Firion just looks thoughtful, kind of goes back to staring into the fire.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone would like to discuss during your night's rest?
No, I think Blossom's just going to talk about demo the whole time.
Sounds about right.
Firion would actually listen to that, despite his better judgment, because it might help him with his spell tomorrow.
Okay, so the night passes without incident, and the cold, sort of unceasing, sort of soft rain that continues to fall, soaking you through to the bone, is quite nicely quite a nice change in the early mornings of the following day on the 14th. As you set out on journey, as the sun kind of now really, whilst it's still a cold chill in the air, the sun really shines through, and it's quite a nice sign to wake up for as you sort of pull open the cloth sort of door to your tent, and sun immediately hits you on your eyes. I think Blossom, you in particular, would sort of maybe be quite excited by the dewdrops on the grass around your campsite, and the sort of warm sun that sort of bakes down upon your little campsite. It's quite pleasant.
Oh, nice and little mildewy bits on the grass. You don't get that very often in Blade Garden. There's all just bricks everywhere. Also, it makes really good mud.
Could someone roll me a d20 for this day as of travel as well, please?
Not me. I did mine.
You did do yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So please describe to me. The weather remains much the same for the rest of the next 30 miles you travel. Upon the sandwich is iceberg, the gears grinding ahead of you gets quite a good pace. You might pass the occasional merchant in this on this stretch of the journey, but you don't particularly pass any. In fact, roll me a, let's say, where is it? Roll me a d20, somebody.
Oh dear.
13.
Maybe one.
You'd find that there would be like a quite a large kind of apothecary's wagon with the wagon itself is quite large and very more wide than long, though, with a donkey that pulls it and an old man that an old human that sits on the front of it, just going to pass you. You'd be, if you wanted to stop and buy anything, you can quite easily tell that on the side of this particular wagon, you can see that the engraved in the side is the Phoenix Tonics on the side, in quite like a very what's the word where it's like the calligraphy is like really sort of like beautiful and kind of like golden studded and that kind of really very stylized. You might recognize it, sort of thing, if I were to show you, but I can't think of a what's that Tom will know
Filigree writing.
Yeah, there's that you know that Mighty Nine t-shirt, Tom, that sort of style of writing. I'll put it in the chat. There's a picture of it there. I don't know what that style of writing is actually called, but it looks like that, but obviously says
Okay.
obviously says not what I said.
Steampunky.
Yes, that kind of thing. I've forgotten the fucking name of the potion place I said now. Does anyone
Phoenix
remember?
Tonics.
The Phoenix Tonics, thank you.
Yeah, Gertrude would wave them down.
Yes, the old man would kind of bring the mule to a halt and kind of nod in your direction at the steel steed that pulls the sandwich northwards and sort of say, "That's a funny looking steed you have there."
Yep. His name's God, what's his name?
His name is Iceberg, and very good horse.
Oh, very nice. Would you like to buy anything? I have many things on sale. I'm traveling with all the basics you might imagine: potions, poisons, serums.
Oh, I got no money.
I've got how much are your healing potions?
I'll reveal this to you. He would have pretty much anything on this list. It seems pretty well stocked. This particular guy.
She would buy 3 healing potions and keep one and give the other 1 to Blossom and 1 to Fury.
Nice. Cool.
Got to invest in success.
Oh, thank you, thank you. kindly. Is there anything else I can offer you? A filter of love, maybe, for those who are looking to romance in such dire times like these, or maybe a set of alchemist supplies for those budding alchemists who wish to get into the industry themselves, or even a truth serum for those not quite so faithful partners after you've finished with the filter of love.
Do you have any dagger detectors?
A what now?
Something to detect daggers. If there's something sneakily in someone's pocket, you'd instantly know. Like
Well, the closest thing I have would be a potion of clairvoyance. You could use it to grant your mind the ability to push into spaces you can't otherwise see in. But that's I only have the one, and that's a very, very expensive piece.
Gertrude, I want that. I need that.
What is it?
It's a potion of clairvoyance.
Steal into people's pockets.
2,500 gold pieces.
I don't have that much, boss.
Oh no, but damn I.
But
Okay, well I'll just don't you worry, Gertrude. Don't worry. You see us not so subtly jump off the cart.
Gertrude's gonna start distracting this guy a bit. She's gonna be like, so how much is alchemy supplies? Can I see them?
So, are you trying to steal this potion?
Blossom casually walks around the outside of him, outside his cart.
Okay, fuck. Please, Gertrude, roll me a deception check. Blossom, roll me a stealth check.
She is actually interested, but she's also doing it, so I don't. So that's fine. Still deception, right?
Yeah, still deception. You're still trying to deceive in some way or another.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
He immediately kind of switches his head around, and you see at the same time as he does, the donkey almost just moves its head in your direction, Blossom, and he says, little miss, what are you doing?
What? Is the donkey talking?
No, the man is talking, but the donkey is also like at the same time he kind of swung his neck round from talking with Gertrude. The donkey at the exact same time turned around and faced you.
Okay, fucking hell, I thought there was something going on. Nothing. I just wanted to look closer at this thing over here.
I can assure you that an old man like me does not travel the road alone without any defences from thieves.
I'm not a thief, no.
Make a deception check.
Gertrude to be like, how much are the alchemy supplies?
The alchemy supplies, dear, are 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, she'd hand that over, actually. I guess she also wants the other thing, the tools.
The guy looks down at you, Blossom, and says, "Oh, sorry, I'm going to sneeze again." The guy looks down at you, Blossom, and says,
I know a thief when I see one, and...
What's that over there? She casts silent image of a sneaky thief on the other side.
He doesn't look away, he's just like staring at you the whole time. You can see you conjuring the spell with your verbal components and your...
Yeah, she literally does it in front of him.
Yeah, and he's like,
please, this is your last chance. I do not wish things to turn negative.
I'm not negative, only you're being negative.
Blossom gaslighting the fucking potion merchant. Varian would speak up and just say,
yeah.
I apologize, sir. I have no interest in your wares, but perhaps, could you tell me if you've seen a scruffy-looking man hurrying north on the road. And he'd describe
Do a persuasion check.
the guy who's got demo as much as possible.
Yeah, do a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, here comes the charisma. 14.
Mm.
Perhaps I have, but I am not too inclined to share such information with potential thieves.
And turns his head back towards Blossom quite irritatedly.
What about if I just turn around? Then we do it. Just pretend. What about? She like goes next to Iceberg, goes to the other side out of his sight of Iceberg, not near his cart at all. But then she jumps back up on the cart as Blossier Blue Cheese. She casts disguise self. Well, I'm very dignified, actually. How dare you talk to me like this?
Can Gertrude get closer to the guy and try and whisper something to him?
I think you could do that quite easily, but roll a stealth check to see if you can do it sort of out. If you're trying to make it so Blossom can't hear or anyone else can't hear.
Yeah.
14. I think
He'd be like, my friend is she's very worried at the moment, and her behaviour's changed so much in the last few weeks.
do a deception check for me.
Can you please just tell her anything you know? She's not be the same.
Oh god.
A thief and a liar, it would seem. Well, I'm afraid I do not wish to do further business with folks such as these in times as trying as these. Good day.
And he climbs
Have fun
back.
at the inn.
He just climbs back on board this wagon and like because the donkey slowly starts.
As he
walking.
goes away,
Mhm.
and Blossom from the cart use her invisible mage hand to try and snatch the potion off of the cart.
Holy crap. Okay, this is very high DC to work because you're not only have to open the back of the thing, there's going to be multiple checks involved with this. Meanwhile, he's going to be watching the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
She's going to try and like do it like behind her dress. Like her dress is like massive, it puffs out. And she's going to try and do it like under the little cloth bit of her dress.
Okay, first off, a sleight of hand check for me, please.
Okay.
Just this is trying to get open the door. Okay, natural 20, and I'll roll what he does anyway. Yeah. You easily manage to move the invisible mage hand as you're doing, as he's watching you specifically, Blossom, very carefully turning his head, and the donkey as well, turning its head towards you. As you open the back of the door. Now I would require you to do a investigation check, as he's now moving past you, and you're kind of... I'm going to say do an Arcana check and an investigation check, because these are two things the Blossom's got to not only know what she's looking for, but also try and find it amongst the many different potions. Holy shit, 19 on the investigation check. 5 on the Arcana, not so good, but I think the natural 20 on the investigation, you do sort of manage to just, although you're not really sure what you're looking for, you get quite lucky, I'm going to say. And you do manage to focus in on something that you just see that says sort of clairvoyance, is labelled quite clearly. I require a further sleight of hand check against his roll again. And Blossom carefully, the hand invisibly just removes the potion of clairvoyance from that and drifts it out of his view. Make one final sleight of hand check as I imagine the sleight of hand possibly tries to put it down out of sight. But you're going to have to quickly close the door again. Because otherwise he will definitely know. Yeah.
If he would definitely know if it's going to fall out. No. I've got inspiration somehow, so let's use that.
Inspiration, go ahead. Roll a second check.
20.
The door just like shuts and clicks, and he kind of perks his ears up. It's not something he sees necessarily, but something he hears. And the wagon
just like whoop, whoop. Nope, nothing to see.
The wagon slowly comes to a stop, and he climbs down from the wagon and goes round to check on the door. What are you doing?
Mage hand, move into the bush.
So you're going to move the potion
with
into the bush? Yeah, I'll allow that based on your previous checks that you have managed to hide that already well enough.
Yeah.
However, feel free to do what you're doing. Like, tell me what everyone's doing during this time. I think
Gertrude doesn't know this is happening, so she's just preparing the cart to go.
As he came out of the cart, Blossom just looked up to the sky like. Woo.
He opens the back of the doors and clearly spots the potion missing.
Damn it!
He looks to you and says, "Please, I can only give you one warning to hand over the potion before I am forced."
What are you talking about? Where are you going? We're on our way. And she minor illusions a potion.
Tyrion is doing nothing to help whatsoever. He's just watching this happen.
Do a sleight of hand check with me. This is very high DC.
Oh.
He catches you doing the minor illusion, and he pokes it and reveals it quite quickly to be an illusion. He says, "Last warning. Hand it over."
Blossom uses the mage hand to grab it out of the bush. Quickly, Gertrude, go! Run!
Gertrude would be on the cart just waiting for everyone else. Like, you're not on the cart.
Yeah, what are you doing? I need everyone to tell me about what they're doing.
Blossom's on the cart.
But yeah, Tyrion's on the cart. He's just sitting. He's going fucking druid true neutral right now. He's just sitting, observing.
So is Gertrude moving the car, or is she just keeping it still and like?
Gertrude just starts slowly moving the cart, but not really fast.
Go! Just slowly starts moving.
Yeah, the cart's not that fast. As you're starting to pull away, he says, "So, very well." And he clicks his fingers as the donkey before you begins to transform into something else. And fuck me, I'm gonna need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh dear.
Bear with me while I try and set something up.
So he's got the potion at this point?
So Blossom's holding it with her mage hand.
Oh, okay.
The potion's not invincible, just the mage hand.
One second. Did not expect this to happen.
I don't think any of it.
Blossom really wants demo.
I expected this to happen at some point. You know?
Just not
Yeah.
I expected at some point Blossom to drop us in it.
What is his donkey? Is it a clever donkey?
I don't know, but he's got some fucking modifiers on his check, so we might be about to get slapped around.
It's pretty strong. Where is he?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you've got to be fairly strong to be a lone merchant.
true.
Sorry, I've got to set a lot of stuff up now. I did not plan for.
Sorry, guys. I just really wanted to be able to find demo quickly. Pulls the mage hand onto the cart.
Varian sat there like, well, prepared my locate object spell.
Did okay what?
He didn't say that.
Okay.
In his head.
Where is the creature I'm looking for? Sorry, I've got to set something up because obviously it's going to take a minute. So
yeah,
if you could be his patient.
I'm patient. Patience.
Locate object's only 1,000. So variance. Biding his time.
This is how we kill them, and then go on a run for the rest of the campaign.
Sowie TPK, baby. Dude.
Right, I think that's probably good enough.
Now everyone dies except Lugum, and it becomes Lugum's quest for revenge.
For Odyssey of the game.
Please place yourselves around the left side cart to indicate where your characters might be. Let's put that down and let's put some combat music on. You could pop on their sidekicks as well for me, please, and roll their initiatives. That would be very handy.
Well, I can put Lugum out.
No, I put Lugum.
I'll put Sneaper out.
I can't put him out.
I know, can I?
Yeah, let me give you. Oh, wait, there we go. Should be able to now change the editing permissions. You'd all be at full, by the way, you've had long rests and whatnot.
Fucking roll high initiative and just fireball this cart with us all crammed in together.
Oh no, Gertrude's got an idea.
Ooh.
It might be fucking overkill, but
I can't.
Okay. Top of the round, Firian, you start. Oh, for some reason you're on there twice for me. I don't know where that is. Can you see two or not?
Nope.
If I delete that, can you still see your one?
Yep.
Cool. Must have been from the other map or something.
So have we got? Is the old man on the cart?
He's
Is it
next.
just
No,
dog?
he's next to the cart, and the donkey is right before him. That you see it start transforming into this strange creature that stands before you.
What's that?
It is your turn, Firian.
That's amazing. Virion. Firion will God. So he sees the donkey transform. He will cast. Yeah, let's keep it simple. He will cast Entangle on the cart, the man, and the donkey.
Check something. He's going to counterspell it.
Oh. Well. In that case, I'm gonna try and get ahead of the curve. Well, you tell me, and Alex, that this stuff's always weird with like a fixed point ability on a moving surface.
Yeah.
Could Firion put his spirit totem on their cart?
Yeah, I'll allow it. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, then we will. I think we'll do the bear. So he summons the spirit of the bear. Everyone gets 9 temporary HP.
Nice.
Very. Snoop. And Iceberg.
Does someone mind just moving Iceberg's token back and forth for me? I'm just having a problem with recording, so I'm just want to see. Yeah, there we go. It's working now. Cool. Thank you. Is that your turn, Firion?
That is my full turn, thank you.
Legume's turn.
Gertrude be like, Legume! And she like points there. Don't attack them yet.
Fucking Lugoom. How's he got? Specific style spells. Oh, he's got bless. He'll bless. He'll bless the heroes of Blibdorbu. Yeah.
No.
Heroes of Blibdorbu. So 3 of us are blessed.
Is your initiative 12 or 10, Gertrude? For some reason I've got you on it twice.
I don't know.
I think it's 12.
12. Okay. Delete me off there. Cool.
That's Lugoom's turn.
Cool. Gertrude.
Gertrude, pissed off, is going to be like, he holds up 9 bags of blasting powder. And she's like, you know what this is?
We've become terrorists so quickly.
Yeah. He just looks over like, just hand over the potion.
She's going to be like, Blossom, hand the potion over.
But we need it for demo.
Hand it over, Blossom.
But
She's gonna
demo.
And if Blossom doesn't give it back, she won't tell Blossom this. She's going to chuck the blasting powder towards the cart. She's like, no one has to get hurt here, but if you down, then we're going to have to blow your cart.
Do an
Blossom, just give it back.
Do an intimidation check, by the way, Gertrude.
Oh, God.
Okay. Snoopers go. Whoever wants to control Snooper can feel free.
I'm doing Lugoom.
I got
I can't
Iceberg.
control them.
I put his character sheet on Roll20 now, so anyone who wants to control him can.
What do you think Snooper would do, though? Like, he doesn't want to kill innocent people.
No, Snoopers definitely wouldn't try and kill anyone. He's just an innocent guy. He just kind of looks at Gertrude. I think looks at Blossom disapprovingly, and just shakes his
I
head.
think you'd get in a way like that and be like, everybody calm down.
Yeah, I definitely think that makes sense for Snooper.
And then hold an attack if they get attacked.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he wants to defend us if we're trying to steal.
I mean, not much. He's a looking lawful good.
Oh yeah.
He would look to Blossom and say, Blossom, please return the potion. We are above stealing. We are not thieves. This man has shown us patience. We will find Demo another way.
But how? I can't think of how to see into other people's pockets otherwise.
We will find him. We have found many things before, have we not?
I guess. But he's been all touching all the rags and stuff. Just want to find him quickly, you know?
Do you think this man here approves of taking his potions? What if he feels the same way about his potion that you feel about Demo?
Yeah,
If-
but
if
the
you were
potion is
in-
nowhere near as good as the
You
dagger.
should
though.
eat it more often.
If you were in his shoes, then do you think if you had a wagon full of daggers, if someone stole one from you, then surely you would react as hostile as he has?
Well, yeah, maybe, but daggers are pretty good, and potions are just, potions.
Blossom, if you do not return, then I do not know if I can be your friend anymore.
Oh, nice, Nova. Fine. Take your stupid potion. Puts it on the floor.
Is anyone else doing anything, or are you letting Blossom
You
return
put it on the
potion?
floor, so Gertrude won't throw the pasta
Okay.
powder.
He, unless anyone else is doing anything, he'll cast Mage Hand, grab the potion up, and bring it back to his hand, and he says, I hope you've learnt a valuable lesson today. And climbs back on the wagon, and the
You're horrible.
creature begins to sort of shift back into a donkey, and then he moves off in a southward direction, and I think I'll end combat there for now.
I don't like that guy, guys, He's valued a potion over demo.
Gertrude's got that mum face on when she won't talk to you because you pissed her off so much.
Gertrude! And she's got that oblivious kid thing where she, shakes your arm to get your attention.
Gertrude just staring forward like...
Gertrude! Shaking your arm.
She just doesn't react. Like you could shake her back and forth and you just go with it. It's like Marge when she breaks down in the car.
So,
You're still my friend, though, Snooper.
I am disappointed in your decisions, Miss Thugwacker. I was built to serve people and do good. That was not good.
Well, it was good for me. Finding demo.
You can not do evil things to justify the ends. That is wrong.
Stealing is evil?
Yes. Taking from others is
He had a
wrong,
lot of stuff.
but it was his and not yours.
But also, what else is evil is charging so much money for a potion. That's pretty evil.
Property is theft.
Down with the sister.
I love Anarchist Blossom.
I am sorry, Blossom. I cannot approve of your methods. You have given me much to ponder.
Ponder? Pond? I don't see a pond.
To think of.
Oh. Well, think of how mean that guy is for not giving me a potion.
He doesn't say anything.
Snooper. She like shakes.
Yes, Miss.
The unstoppable
Woodworker.
force.
Yeah, but we're still friends, right? Next time, don't worry. I'll tell you when I do it, and then you can just turn away, and then you won't see it. It'll be fine.
I think you are not understanding the point.
Well, I think, mate. I don't know. Am I?
You are not.
What do you think, Firion? Am I getting the point?
Snooper. Whether Snooper sees you stealing something or not, just knowing that you're thinking of stealing things makes him sad, Blossom.
Oh. But why? I'm not steal from you, Snooper.
Stealing from anyone is wrong, Miss Thugwacker.
What? Even when you need it more than the other person? What about when somebody needs food more than the other person has, and the other person has the food and you can't afford the food? Is it wrong then?
Do a persuasion check.
Do an
And
existential
that's
check.
when Snooper's head explodes.
A little bit. I think it is still wrong, Miss Thugwacker. This is what I was built to believe. This is what I was taught.
You see Blossom look quite saddened by that and look down. And she says,
feeling really bitchy. It's going to be like, what? Does that mean that metal is stolen from the environment? Just out loud, like annoyed.
Firion has a very smug look as Gertrude says that. But doesn't say anything.
I mean, me and all my friends and siblings have had to steal food before because we didn't have any money. I don't think don't know what we would have done without doing it.
You have given me much to ponder.
Gertrude feeling extra bitchy. It's also like, I don't know. What do you think, Lugo?
Little poop.
Gertrude just like, yeah, exactly.
You've made me try and think about things as well. Maybe I'm the bad guy.
Neil Cass would just pipe up and say, well, I think it's if you have to steal to get by, then you have to steal to get by, don't you? Nothing wrong with that, but, not that you shouldn't steal from an old man with a donkey, really, he's just trying to get by, but,
It wasn't a donkey, though, was it?
Yes, good point.
No kiss.
Blossom just sits in the corner, thinking about stuff.
Gertrude looks at Blossom. She's like, I'm still your friend, Blossom. I'm just feeling really bad about having to blackmail that guy with the blasting powder.
Oh, that was pretty good, actually. He would have been able to get all of his stuff.
No, it wasn't. But I protect my friends.
Yeah. If I was the bad guy, everyone, I'm sorry. I just really wanted to find Emma. Well, he wasn't using it. He was just selling it for money. Too much money.
Blossom's fucking with my head now.
And she's like, sometimes, Blossom, you have to be the bad guy to realise you're the bad guy, so you can be the good guy.
Be the bad, the good. The bad, the good, and the good.
We're all good. We're trying to do good. It's just sometimes it gets mixed up.
Okay. Okay.
Let's
It's
just
very
get to
confusing.
Novgorod.
Okay.
Okay, so you travel on with quite a tense atmosphere for the rest of the day, as Blossom is given much to think about, and so is everyone really. You know, the moral quandaries of
Capitalism.
You know, capitalism, basically. But your journey otherwise comes to a stop, and you rest throughout the night. Is there anything you would like to do throughout the night?
Blossom tries to do the meditation thing with Emma again.
Roll me a wisdom check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
No response today, Blossom. You're
Oh no, maybe Demo's angry with me as well.
Firion would like to, because he's got the leather workers tools and proficiency.
Yes. Yeah, go.
He's making. I mean, I don't think the events of the day would change his mind. He wants to start working on a little gift for Blossom.
Okay. What's he looking to make, or you want to keep it private?
No. And he wouldn't hide it around the campfire either. He wants to make her a little leather dagger sheath with demo embroidered into it.
Yeah. Do me a sleight of hand check with your intelligence modifier instead of your dex.
So we 2 less than this. 5.
I'm going to say you get the impression that for what you want to do, it's really going to take you another sort of 3 to 4 days to complete it.
Yep, sounds good.
But you get started on it. Like, you've got the sort of basics of it put together. It's not like a super complicated thing to do, but it's just, you're making some mistakes that maybe you wouldn't have usually made in the past, which kind of makes you have to start over and then sort of redo things and things like that, basically, that are causing the time to be kind of delayed.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting centrally, doing his leather working with that kind of serene look of someone lost in their hobby.
Yeah, the rest of the day, sort of, Nilcast is kind of singing very kind of maybe inappropriate songs like, "Call me a thief, there's been a robbery, I left with a heart, tore it apart, made no apologies." Things like sort of singing like...
No.
Gertrude's just been like, "Should have left you behind."
Would Blossom be doing anything else apart from trying to sort of meditate on demo and...
She'd be doing that for a good long while, but if nothing came of it, she would eventually like sulk a little bit and then wander off into a bush and try and find a bunch of spiders.
Yeah, I think Snooper and the sort of Lugoon would be sitting quite close to you. Gertrude, Snooper's probably sitting quite far of his own, again quite quiet in his solemn attitude, and Lugoon's kind of sitting right up close to you. Gertrude is kind of like disturbingly close to you, like he's almost like a child, like next to his mother. Like he feels like, I think, do an insight check for me actually, Gertrude, just to see. It's not particularly high insight. I don't think Lugoon's particularly hard to read. Natural 20.
Nice.
You definitely get the impression that Lugoon's kind of like acting all smug, and he's acting like, "Yeah, I'm the good, I'm the good kid. The bad kid over there is like, she was bad." And he's like getting up real close, like sitting cross-legged next to Gertrude, like, blubber perp.
I think maybe at some point through the night when she'd have drunk her ale that she's got.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "All right, we need to do something about this." Like a tiny bit tipsy. and she's like, "Who about Siege Ball?"
You lagged out of it. What did you say?
Yeah.
She's like a bit tipsy, and she's like, "Who wants to learn about Siege Ball?" And she like has her her staff ready, trying to like bring a bit more,
Yeah, Luke
conviviality.
instantly like stands up and puts his hand up, and it's just like, Lurgan Siege Ball, hero of Siege Ball.
Miriam raises a very unenthusiastic hand.
Nilkas is like, I am a big Siege Ball connoisseur, but I'll certainly help out.
Siege Ball? Does Blossom know what Siege Ball is? I assume so.
Yeah, of course you would, yeah. You're familiar with the sport. To a degree, I don't know how much you actually... I mean, to do a history check to see how much you actually know about it, or if you just... You would be familiar with the name, but I don't know if you would know actually the rules. Like, you probably know as much as Hannah knows about cricket.
Literally nothing.
Like, you know there's a ball and a bat.
Yeah.
You'd see Gertrude a bit drunk. She'd start explaining it, and she'd have her quarterstaff as the stick, and then she'd pull out the opal, which is like worth 1,000. She's like, "We're gonna use this. We're gonna practice before we get there."
Okay.
So she basically just take everyone through the basics of Siege Ball, this ridiculously expensive opal as the ball.
Yeah, so everyone do a wisdom check just to see how much you pick up from Gertrude's lesson. And Gertrude, do a intelligence check just to see how well your teaching goes.
Oh God.
Not great.
Makes sense. She's tipsy.
I think Snoop would be off on his own still a little bit. You can roll for Lugoom as well if you want.
Yeah.
Nilkas knows how to play already, so I'm not going to make him roll.
Luigi was trying to be a good boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a 5.
Yeah, I think Blossom, you get some of the idea of the rules, but Firion, you're kind of just like spacing out half the time, I imagine.
Yeah, in one ear, out
and
the other.
Lugoom's just so like almost like following the teacher, like trying to act like the good boy, and it's just like he's just like copying all of Gertrude's motions and stuff, but he's not actually picking anything up.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Well, you'll see when you get there."
Okay.
Okay, so unless anyone else has got anything else to do this evening,
I think so.
no phone calls, Gertrude. I thought you might want to.
She's too not in the right mind.
That's fair.
She's not in the right mindset to do it.
Okay, so the night passes that instant. Can I get one more D20 roll for the last day of travel? Okay, so unless you have anything else you'd like to do on the last day of travel, your travel day would go pretty without incident. The weather's pretty mild. It's a bit tiring, but otherwise you get there without too much issue, unless you've got any more roleplay stuff to do on the way.
I think Blossom's probably sort of come out of it a little bit. She's sort of forgotten half of it. She's just like regular day. She's like, "Yeah, Snoopla. Yeah, Gertrude. Yeah, everyone." It's like her morning routine, just to greet everyone.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, Miss Thugwacker.
Aww. This is our last day of travelling.
Yeah, we should get there tomorrow. So we'll visit all the inns to see if anyone stayed, and maybe we can find Demo.
Oh, exactly. I was just wondering if there's any particular one we're going to go to first. I don't think I know the area.
Well, I really want to go to a very specific one, but what's it called, Natalie?
Oh god, I cannot remember. Do you remember what specific one she might have been wanting to
It
go?
was the one that the Siege Ball team hangs out at.
Oh, it was the.
Or was that a bakery? I can't remember.
Oh, there was there was the Fennel Fighters one. which
that's
was
the one.
Rockin'
She wants to go that
Rolls, which
Yeah,
is
she wants
which
to
is
go
a
Rockin'
restaurant
Rolls.
which sells like baked goods. Yeah.
She was like, when we get there, right, we've got two options. No, not in Luke. Go to the inns, and then we'll all go get a nice lunch at the Rockin' Rolls. So I've always wanted to, and I've never been.
What does it sell? Does it have dramp noodle?
Yeah, it might have dramp noodle. I'm pretty sure it
Probably,
would, right?
yeah, it definitely would, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it would
god,
have.
that's really exciting.
And
Yeah, it'd have
Yeah.
a variety of baked goods, you think?
you'd have a lot. There'd be a lot to choose from, and we deserve it for this long journey we've done. And then take it easy tomorrow, and then set out on business the next day.
I You say you're looking for something in particular. I don't mean to butt in, but well, I live in Nogvarot. I'm pretty familiar with the area. I can tell you anything you want to know.
Where's someone likely to stay if they haven't got much coin?
Well,
And has had a dagger in their back at some point.
I tell you about a dagger in the back. Well, yeah. Depends what kind of character you are, really. If you're looking for a criminal, well, a cheap place to stay is the Young Explorers Club, run by Ariana Longfeet. She likes to promote lots of young adventurers and sponsor them. But if you're looking for more of a seedy place, can't say I've ever been there myself, but the Crypt Kicking Dive, I've heard, is quite a nasty place. Tough and rough characters hanging around there. Like I said, someone like me, far too gentle of a soul to ever consider hanging out in such a place.
Gertrude would look at Nilkas and be like, are we young enough to be sponsored by Longfeet?
Oh yes, you haven't got too many wrinkles yet. You seem pretty young. I don't know about him.
Points to Firian.
But he's like, well, yeah. But I don't see why not. She's always looking for people to advertise. If it's a place if you're looking for work, and it's a good place to swing round. It's quite fun. It's quite fun actually, and I have to tell you, she is something of a performer herself. I'm sure myself, and she likes to use a big rope to swing across the inn and deliver drinks as she does.
Oh. Well, swing, as in literally swing across the room?
Yeah, she swings across the room from the head of the inn.
Oh my god, maybe she'll teach me how to do it.
Well, maybe if she sponsors you. I think she's sponsoring about 10 other different adventuring groups right now. You got a few other places. If you want to go to the more popular places, you got the Last Stand Tavern, which is a place where all the Last Aegis folk sing, or the Righteous Brand folk who make up the Last Aegis. They're sort of the defenders of Nogvarot. And then you've got the Shield from the East, which is more where the Crown's Guard hang around. You see, there's a bit of a big contention in Nogvarot between a bit of tension between the old Crown's Guard and the Last Aegis. They try not to step on each other's toes too much. That's where it all gets serious in the Siege Ball arena. The rivalry between the King's Foot and the Last Aegis.
Sorry, is it the Last Aegis? It's the what's it called?
Aegis Strikers. Sorry, not the Last Aegis.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna go watch them, Gertrude?
Well, I think we should try and do this demo stuff first. We should maybe go to the seedy place that Milcast mentioned, and then
the next game's on the 18th, I believe. I think there's a game tomorrow against, but it's well, I think anyone cares about a mid-table match between the Axe Grinders and obviously Axe Grinders are my babies, but well, they're not. I'll be attending that, of course. But the Axe Grinders and the Drawbacks, can't say the Drawbacks are going to be a too exciting game. Unfortunately, the Axe Grinders probably going to pound them into dust, as far as I'm concerned.
Are the games in the evening?
They usually are, yeah.
Maybe when we get there, check out the places this guy could have gone, get lunch at Rock and Rolls, and then go watch that game in the evening, and then,
Okay.
get into more serious stuff the next day.
Okay. Oh, I really hope we find Gemma, though.
Me too, Blossom.
Mm.
Don't want any more incidents.
Incidents?
But don't worry.
Okay. Well, I look forward to getting Gemma. Quickly, let's go now.
Right, so are you gonna sort of push on now and get to Nogvarot? You'll probably arrive. You'll have to sleep and then sort of get there early in the morning on the 17th. You think?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Cool. Quickly, just add something to the events.
Snooper,
Yes, Miss Thugwacker.
are you still my friend again? It's been the whole day now.
We are still friends, Miss Thugwacker. I just have had a lot to think about. Our purpose still drives us together. We still search for those responsible for the attacks, this salvation. I wish to uncover whoever is responsible, and you have all proven yourselves so far in service of good. I just am concerned.
I don't know. Okay. He just kind of doesn't really know what to say.
Yeah. So, as you sleep throughout the night and wake in the morning, you push on to finally arrive in the city of Nogvarot.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly.
It's a ball.
So, arriving from the southeast, your car would slowly start being joined by many others heading out of the city, or serving small markets that build up the outside of the walls of Nogvarot itself. Nogvarot is a large city made up of sort of 15,000, if not more, people. It's a major stop along the Glory Run Road, and the biggest the biggest city you've been in since Huppadook. It hosts travellers making their way throughout the Empire, many in need of provisions who like to buy locally made trinkets as souvenirs of their journey. You make your way through these markets as you see cloth is hung from like wooden stands that support kind of overheads to cover from the rain, with various different goods making up all the different. You see there's weapons and jewellery and all kind of things making their way into the city that peddlers might try and supply those leaving the city on the way out. There's alcohol merchants, there's tools merchants, there's everything you might imagine, all the way from those trying to sell, religious symbols to those trying to just peddle knickknacks and such. And you find your way making your way slowly toward the large gates of the walls of Nogvarot, where the presence now of not only Crown's Guard with their recognisable uniforms, but the presence of Righteous Brand soldiers it's a bit intense, it's overwhelming. Compared to Huppadook, which was really an independent settlement, this is the most fortified city you've seen, and there is the merchant ways give way to and the small like farms and such on the very outskirts start to make way to training blocks and things that might be more like familiar for you to see in like Blade Garden, Blossom. Not extensive. You think probably the central training blocks are on the inside of the city, but there's definitely a few more, especially with like stables and the like. There's definitely those patrolling outside, and there's a very big presence just of Righteous Brand and Crown's Guard. You might see a small child running through the street who both a Crown's Guard and a Righteous Brand soldier at the same time go to tell off for running, but sort of stare at each other with a sort of intense look. And you make your way into the city, which is long, narrow streets that are built up with multi-storied houses that are packed in together very tightly. This is a city that is got sections of large, tall houses. It's that are quite thin and narrow, that pack quite a hefty population in for a city of this size. But the most immediate thing you hear as you enter the city gates from the southeast is a roar of raucous applause and clapping and the like, as you sort of hear the sounds of the Siege Ball arena, with perhaps those enthusiastic fans that go to watch just the training games and training sessions itself. It's for bored or restless folk in the city and soldiers that might be seeking distraction from the war. Siege Ball is the central entertainment thing in the city, and there's very dedicated fans, as you see many different citizens wearing a variety of different merchandise. You might see one with a big symbol of a crown with a foot in front of it, the king's foot, selection of sort of supporters on that side, and then at a different time you might see the Aegis Strikers, which is a big hefty shield with the symbol of a siege ball hammer in front of it. And or you might find for example, you might find others that have a symbol of a hot dog, a chili dog on front with there's lots of different types of teams within the city. You probably see very few Fennel fighters logos, I'm afraid, Gertrude, much to your disappointment.
Maybe looking out for them, but not.
Yeah, that would maybe do me a perception check to see if you do spot any Fennel Fighters supporters. In fact, you would, and a small little boy who sort of runs through the street has got a dirty, tatty Fennel Fighters t-shirt as he runs around and sort of goes up to a local butcher, it seems like, and who's much of the market's dying out at this point as it makes its way inside the city. You think probably more in a proper marketplace. But you see there's maybe a local butcher on this side of the city who he kind of hands a coin to, and then runs off with a little sort of folded package of meats and other bits, and heading back off into the city.
Yeah, she give him a little, a good job, kid nod, even if he doesn't see it.
Yeah, and he kind of looks at you, kind of very young, this kid, maybe not even 10 years old, and just sort of keeps his head down and sort of runs back through the street. It's very busy. The streets, and especially in this narrow streets, it feels crowded, it feels overwhelming as the tall buildings loom over your diminutive forms. Firion, I imagine it's probably quite overwhelming for you in particular, to be back in such a busy place.
He's not enjoying it, but he has a job to do today, and so he would cast Locate Object, focusing on demo.
Okay, can you put that in the chat for me?
But as soon as he casts it, he would turn into a spider, maintain concentration, and just crawl into Blossom's hair.
It's really busy here. I don't know how we're going to find demo.
you would get Firian, sorry, you get the position would be coming from basically on the other side of the city. But the most noticeable thing, it would be sort of like northwest of the city, but the most noticeable thing is that it's downwards is the ping you get. It's not level where it was. And based on the geography, I think Firian's smart enough to know the city doesn't slope down particularly. It's quite sort of, if anything, it goes up slightly.
Yeah, underground.
It looks like it's underground wherever Demo might be.
He would pop back into Furion form and quickly relay that to Blossom and Gertrude.
Gertrude would ask Nilkas which way this seedy bar was. Was it like northwest, like?
Yes, it's sort of more north than northwest. It's in the Scatters district. There's 3 districts of Nogvarol. This is quite overwhelming. I've never been a guide before. You have the 3 districts. You've got the Scatters, which is where you'll find the Plaza of Prayer. You'll find a number of different worshippers there. We have an Evandra worshipper, Bahamut, Coralon. There's further other temples. Sort of, it's a small set of worship. Many of the inns and taverns are throughout the Scatters. You got, like I said yesterday, the Last Stand, the Shield from the East, the Crick Kicking Dive. You'll find at the sort of very north section of the city itself. That's probably the seediest place I can think of. Young Explorers, that's more central if you wanted to go there. Many of those places around you'll find, like I said, throughout the Scatters. And then, of course, the Scatters also makes home to the Cobalt Soul Archives you can find here. Might be interest of you, Miss Von Tillich.
I think so, but
I think it's quite a small archive compared to one you might find in Zadash or Rexentrum, but they've got a sizable library from what I'm aware. Never been there myself.
Well, I'll probably check it out tomorrow, but
and then of course you got Peddler's Row, which is where I make my home. There's many different shops within there. If you want to visit Rock and Rolls, you'll find that within Peddler's Row. You'll find the marketplace with a series of different shops. You ask what you're looking for, I'll point you in the right direction.
Well, we should try and get Demo before anything else, so it's out of the way. We've got him back and he's safe. Right, Blossom?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a really good idea. But Fiona, how do you even know where he is, though?
Thinking really hard.
Thinking really hard. Wish I could do that if I thought really hard.
Oh, and of course, I forgot to say, of course, there's the final section of the city, which is the Aegis Block, where, well, you'll find much of the soldiers training there, the places of government and such. That's the boring part, though. Oh, the Siege Ball arena's there, of course. That's the interesting part, but the rest of it's pretty dull.
Yeah, usually a lot of people are just fighting. Well, if you say it's below, maybe I assume sewers exist here, so maybe in the sewers. How dare so rude! He took my dagger to the sewers, and Demo's gonna be all gross.
Maybe we should go to the point above it that we can reach, and then try and work the way down.
Okay.
If you hold out your hand, Blossom, I will move around on your hand, the spider, in the direction we need to go, like a little spider bus.
That'd be really. Can you be a big spider?
What colour would you like?
Oh my gosh, a purple spider.
Yeah, Furion would turn into a big purple spider.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And Gertrude is a big purple spider.
Use locate object to point.
Yeah.
Continue pointing in the direction.
Still pointing probably over here-ish. Like that kind of section of the Scatters. Neilcast would say to you, it's like, well, I don't mean to be rude, but if you intend on going down into the sewers, well, I think I'll have to say my
farewells and probably make my way back to the Golden Games.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, naked man.
Yes, goodbye to you. Pleasure traveling with you, and well, good luck finding your dagger. If you ever get bored, feel free to pop by the Golden Games. Can't miss me in the marketplace.
Oh, the marketplace. Oh, yeah, but demo, this guy.
Right, so you're making your way through the city. If you sort of make your way up the central paths through the city, sort of directly, the busier sections, definitely you'd as you get closer and closer to the marketplace, you start to see a number of different shops all around and little market stalls. You might see a bookshop called Bound to Be Good. You'd pass by Rock and Rolls itself, Gertrude, a small little restaurant at the corner of one of the streets, with quite a clear sign that's sort of a blackboard with chalk written on there. You can see that's sort of been stylized and it's kind of fading a little bit. You would see a Boa and Fletcher's shop named Harpy's Heartstrings. You see a variety of other shops, whatever you're looking for here, really you could find. But your journey really takes you northward, and then you start to get more into the section of the city where people start to make their homes more. The scatters are really where a lot of people live. So as you move away from the marketplace, you find people now sort of living in sort of built up sort of houses and flats and sections like that. A lot of sort of poorer to middle class folk, not living in poverty or anything, but it's definitely a very built up place. So you find yourself getting sort of quite overwhelmed as you see sort of people leaning out their windows and hanging washing from long lines that span the entirety of the sort of stone streets, and there's big sort of black lampposts with sort of lights at the top with you imagine magically sort of spark a light at night and things like this. As Firian's guiding you, Blossom, do just sort of like a perception check to see.
Okay.
To see if, like, Gertrude, you can do one as well, just to see as you're pushing into different parts of the city.
11.
Okay, and Gertrude.
11.
Okay. I'd say what you both. Gertrude, it's probably a lower DC for. What you do notice is that this is the further Firian kind of guides Blossom towards this direction, the poorer and poorer the sort of surrounding environments gets, and the sort of kind of hardier folk. You start to see like more. There might be like a small scuffle in the street as two people bump into each other and things like this. Start to get a little bit, when you feel like you've turned down the wrong street a little bit, and you're standing, I'd say, not far now. You think down Firian, probably 400, 300 feet downwards, it feels like, directly below you. Yeah, it seems pretty far down wherever this is.
Yep, he scuttles to the underside as a spider of Blossom's hand to indicate downwards.
She looks at Gertrude. What does that mean?
It's below us somewhere. Where would we be on the map, Natalie?
You'd be sort of over here somewhere.
I can't see.
Oh, sorry, I'm on GM there. Over here.
Oh god, there's no things there at all.
Have we seen any like grates for sewers along the way, or?
You probably would have seen a few like manholes. Sort of not particularly. There would be grates, definitely, like quite frequently, but manholes themselves would be slightly less common. But no less common you might find in the real world.
Okay.
There would definitely be, even in this section, as there is sort of more tough and rough areas, you definitely would see still a heavy presence of Crownsguard. Whilst people might sort of like bump into each other and kind of be a bit irritated with each other, the Crownsguard would sort of turn to them and just sort of give them an eye and then you know, some would be like, "Ugh," kind of like roll their eyes sort of thing and walk off, and, you know, definitely kind of it definitely gives you that more intense atmosphere, but you still don't get the impression it's not policed. This is a very policed city.
Yeah, Blossom's not really paying much mind to either way. She's just like, TMI. How do we get down there, Gertrude?
Oh,
Don't know.
it's either in a really deep basement. I guess it could be in the sewer. But then why would he be staying in the sewer?
I don't know. Maybe fear on you can turn into a badger and we can dig down. That seems like a good plan. Directly downwards.
The Crown's Guard might not like that, Blossom. We should try and find a grate and see how deep that goes.
Okay. You search around for a grate.
But first, Gertrude, do me a quick intelligence check.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to reveal any information for an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could quite easily find a grate, but you ain't gonna be able to fit in a grate. It's like on the side, it's built into the side, like the classic kind of It Georgie moment sort of thing like that, but it's even more narrow. You think the way the streets are designed, they're kind of like curved downwards, so any water that hits kind of just sinks straight into the drains down here off the sort of cobblestone streets.
You could just make it bigger.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. It probably wouldn't take you long to find a manhole, but they are very much in the center of the street. Still, even in these like less busy parts, more lived-in areas of the city, it still be a lot of people about. Middle of the day.
Maybe there's like some secret underground criminal, playground that we could try and get to, but yeah.
Could be.
Shrugs.
We could always ask around the different inns to see what people know.
Yeah, we could ask that guy. She just points to some shady looking guy.
It's the Crick Kicking Dive. Is that a dodgy place?
Yes, it would be.
We should go to that, the Crick Kicking Dive that Nilkas mentioned and ask around. Maybe you're right, Boston. Maybe there's some sort of criminal playground underground or something.
Oh, I bet there is. There usually is. Especially in, bad, poopy places.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the crick then.
Okay, so you're heading to the Crick Kicking Dive.
Yep.
Pick a slightly more different song. Let's do.
I'm gonna burst in there. Alright.
Yep.
Shitbags. Tell
Pretty
us
much.
what the dagger is. What dagger?
So you make your way through the north of the Scatters, and you eventually find, as the streets get very narrow here, at the very north you see a small inn that's sort of built into the side of like the buildings that hit the wall of the outer walls of Nogvarot. The building itself is it's tall but very narrow, and there's a swinging sign of a sort of shield-shaped thing, which engraved into the side is the Crick Kicking Dive, and the windows are very kind of glazed over, and kind of they look very kind of very sort of misted up from the inside. Just you get the atmosphere that inside it's going to be quite maybe just quite a smoker's joint. You'd see a number of people sort of outside or sort of sucking on pipes, and definitely you might see like a couple of Crown's Guard hanging outside, but they seem to be very kind of chummy with the people who are very much smoking alongside them. The atmosphere, strangers walking by of your natures with 2 little halflings and a big metal man, and a fucking fish person in Lugoom definitely drawing like at the marketplace it probably would have got some looks, but here it's definitely getting more and more looks. And
speaking of which, can we just say we left Iceberg somewhere on like defend mode or something?
You could have left him at the stables outside the city if you wanted to.
That'll do.
With the sandwich.
Yeah, with the sandwich. That if you want to pay, say, let's say 5 gold, they probably pay for like, say if you're staying for 5 days, they do like a gold a day. They'd probably agree for you.
Actually, pay that.
But yeah, you'd find yourself sitting outside the shop. It's got sort of latticed windows and a small door that's like a doorway. Really, it's not even really got a proper door on it. Not that's.
Well, it looks like the place, Gertrude.
Yeah, we don't look very inconspicuous, so maybe we should just, burst in there and get the information.
Well, I think it's the same thing, Gertrude. Clever. You ready then?
Both, like all of you, do perception checks before you're entering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my 16 eyeballs blinking away.
Bear with me. Firion is the only one to notice that Blossom and Gertrude and even Snooper and Lugoom are quite sort of focused on the task at hand, I imagine. But Firion, in your spider form, definitely more observant of your surroundings, with those, as you said, those many eyes sitting along, and some of the eyes on the side do pick up like a man who's kind of following from the side. You watched him a while, and at first it just sort of seemed he caught your strange presence, caught this man's eye, and he's sort of keeping up close, watching the lot of you very closely, keeping in a close eye.
Firion would he'd turn back into Firion form, jump off Blossom's hands, turn back into Firion.
Get even more attention as it does, the spider. Of course. Some people will go like, "Whoa! Didn't see you there."
Firion wouldn't respond. He'd quietly say to Gertrude and Blossom, being followed.
What? Where? She looks around.
Yeah, as soon as you say what, where, and start turning around, Firion, you see this man kind of like skulk off a little bit and turn away and start walking off in another direction. You get the impression he definitely noticed that Blossom especially kind of like jerked round.
Yeah, he'd point after the guy's direction and just say, he went off that way if we want to follow him. But it's up to you.
Well, I mean, maybe you could just ask him directly. Where do all the criminals, play? He's getting away.
No. Random guy or building.
Well, we could just burst in here, and she just like pushes violently on the door as she walks in.
Like I said, there's not even a door. It's just a set of hanging beads that cover the front thing. So you could just pull them apart, and as you would do, Blossom, you would like instantly be greeted with like a heavy kind of overwhelming sense of what's the word, like smokiness and kind of like warm, like almost humid kind of like chatter, like almost it's like in the air, like this sort of like really trying to think of good music here. No, this sucks. What's this one? Oh, definitely not that one. Apologies. Let me find some actual appropriate music for this place.
Oh, like it. It's the rain. I blame the rain.
You blame the rain. Let me find one.
Relax.
You need a character who basically always has blasting powder. He's like, you tell me what you want, or this place gonna explode, man!
The suicide vest guy. I love it.
Okay. It would be a very dingy, quiet place, Blossom. There wouldn't be any bards playing music as you might expect in some inns. It's a quiet, all you can really hear is the sound of a fire kind of crackling away in the sort of right hand side of the room. The sight you see instantly is there's a bar ahead of you on the sort of just to the sort of like straight ahead and right to you that kind of curls around. There's like drinks behind and drink like a section hanging above, like a board that hangs around. There's a man that kind of sits over this particular bit and is kind of like pouring drinks to a few people who are sitting at stools at the front of the bar. There's mostly, you'd see like mostly humans and dwarfs and other not popular is the word, but you know, of a very common species within this this particular inn. The atmosphere as you push in would definitely be like people turning their heads at these small like round wooden tables with the floorboards across the floor that make up this very kind of dingy place. It's dark in here. The walls are painted a dark colour, like a dark wood, kind of comes up to about halfway before it goes into kind of like a smoke stained, which would have been like a white wall once, but there's very dimly lit. It's quiet. You see this sort of like burly man behind the bar, kind of balding, like quite overweight, sort of wearing quite a nice kind of like done up red kind of shirt with an apron over it. It kind of looks in your direction as you do. You see there's quite a burly dragonborn woman who's probably the most exotic a creature within, but she's kind of sitting off further down into the inn on the sort of left side, which part of the inn just sort of goes straight down into. She's sitting alone, kind of on her own. There seems to be like a section where it cuts off as well. It looks like there's a door with a back room.
I think Blossom's just going to stride on over to the bar.
You definitely,
She's
people
just gonna
are
do
turning their heads and stuff, but less so at Blossom because she does definitely look a bit rough herself, and halflings are still common as anything else.
Yeah. Anyone that's staring, she'll just do little like finger clicks at them, like hee. And then she'll go to the bar.
Yeah, you head up to the bar. He's kind of like the man who's sort of looked quite, overweight but done up fairly well, just sort of like serving someone else, pours them an ale, and then turns to you and just sort of says, "What can I get you?"
And she like clambers up and climbs up onto this stool and like, leans over towards him. Do you know anything about where the criminals play?
Do me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yep. Nice.
He looks at you and his expression turns. It's kind of hard to read, but I mean, you can do an insight check actually if you'd like.
Yep, hold on when I stop reading.
He's hard to read, like I said. He
I
just sort of
I
looks.
also steal things, so you know, together we can fight things in the playground of criminals.
He looks you up and down and just says, "Think you should find somewhere else to drink. We don't take kindly to those looking around for shady activity."
Shady, I thought it was all above board.
He kind of just looks at you and just says, "If you want to find something, work or whatever, you could go look in the streets. I'm sure, there's been stories of all kinds of crazy activity out there."
Gertrude's just gonna stride over and she's like, "How much do you want just to tell us where these goddamn caves are or whatever they are underground?"
To an intimidation check. This is a pretty high DC. Natural 20. You can see this guy Gertrude is like looking Blossom up and down, like almost sort of like, what the fuck is this pathetic halfling coming in? And then with the sort of the previous day, you've had that kind of like almost angry mother who comes in and just marches in with that real stride in her step behind her, just marches up and kind of like shocks this guy slightly, and he kind of looks at you like he kind of whispers in. He leans in and he's like, "Your cobalt soul type. Like, what? I don't want to cause any trouble. I ain't got no business here. If you got any problem, you can go talk to the Crown's Guard. You can. I run a legit business here.
I don't care what you do. I just want to know where they are and we'll get out your hair."
Do me a persuasion check. Got a DC in mind.
Oh, we don't care what you sell, barman, but I just want my dagger back.
Okay, rolled well. He says, "Why is Cobalt Soul type asking questions like this around here?"
Why won't you just fucking tell me?
He kind of sighs and he says, "Look, whatever business you got, it's above my pay grade, but if you want to talk to, the boss, feel free." And he kind of gestures towards the back room.
Thank you.
Okay.
Come on, everyone. And Lugoom, you stay here and get a drink.
Blossom sticks her tongue out at him as she gets off the stool.
Come on, boys.
Yeah.
So I think Snooper would accompany you at this point, assuming Firian's still in spider form, making his way inside, and Lugoom would probably, unless you want them to wait outside for you. What would you like Lugoom and Snooper to do?
She wanted Lugoom to just sit and drink in the bar.
Yeah, he'll do that, if you tell him to do that. What about
Yes,
Snooper? Do you want Snooper to watch over Lugoom, or do you want him with you?
He should come with us. Well, maybe.
I leave Lugoom alone.
Good point. Yeah. We've got Secret Firion with us. He can watch over Lugoom.
Is Firion still secret?
I didn't specify it, but I think Firion is being spider form kind of as a default whilst in the city. He doesn't like the crowds.
Yeah.
He likes being small. If you want him to stay with Lugoom, you can just put your hand on Lugoom and Firion will reluctantly crawl onto him.
Yeah, is that what you're doing? Is Lugoom and Firion waiting outside?
I think we should have Secret Firion with us so he can pop if anything goes weird.
Okay. And have Snooper wait with Lugoom then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up to this back door, which as you get closer and closer, the darkness kind of you're getting more familiar with the settings as a few people sitting throughout here, kind of just mostly alone, just drinking. There's a kind of hefty half-orc fellow who, like, as you're moving towards the door, sort of like looks towards the bartender, and you can see he shrugs his hands and just says,
Business.
Yeah.
he looks down at you and just says,
What's your business?
I want to find my dagger, and I think that it's probably where you guys, do your criminal plans down below. And she points to the floor.
do an insight check, both of you, all of you, as just to see something when Blossom says that.
Wider insight.
Nice.
Firian, you're the one who most, like, Gertrude, you pick up on just a little bit, but Firian's the one who, like, really singles in. As he says down below, you get this, like, impression from him, like, what the fuck, like, how does she know this? Like, who are these people? Why is there cobalt soul here? You get a definitely impression that he's confused and a bit sort of nervous. Not nervous, but just sort of like, why the fuck is cobalt soul looking into this?
Gertrude would be like, look, we don't want to go down there. There's just something we want down there. It's not even that valuable, but it has a big value to my friend here.
It's very valuable. Really, it's the most valuable thing ever, actually. And we can't do without him, and he's only want to come back. So, you just point the way to down there, and we'll go and get it and come back up.
The sort of bouncer guard type just sort of looks down and says,
25 gold. You can talk to the boss.
Gertrude just hands it over.
very well. And he opens the door to you, and you sort of make your way inside. It's got a sort of corridor, and he just says,
Down the corridor on the left. Knock first, please.
And I assume you make your way down towards this door and knock upon the end. You see it's quite like the rest of the doors along here are just sort of wooden without paint, but this particular one is painted like a deep crimson red upon it. It's quite stands out on these, like the walls are completely painted black along here as well. It's quite like a dark and dank thing, and you can hear like a small sound of like music coming along, like it sounds like a very slight sound of a violin playing beyond the door. And as you knock, you just hear a bit of kerfuffle. Or would you knock? That's a good question. Would you knock, or would you just make your way straight in?
Oh, is it open?
It would not be not locked, but the door is closed, and the guy did say to knock first. But
Blossom would knock, but she would do a weird knock, like.
You definitely hear like a bit of scuffling, and a man, after a few moments, a man who's got sort of messy dark hair, a chin strap beard, who's wearing kind of like a leather tunic with dark red shirt underneath, with his hair on his shirt is like partially open. He's got dark black trousers. He's got like a hairy chest showing through with like multiple golden chains. He's got rings and bracelets all over his fingers. He's got multiple earrings throughout his thing. He's got lots of different facial piercings, tattoos all over this man, and his face is covered in lipstick. And you can see next to him stands a beautiful red tiefling who's got horns that curl all the way back, all the way back round like a ram's horns. She's got piercing yellow eyes, deep crimson red skin, like beautiful, like sort of like perky lips, and like a small kind of bob cut that comes round. She's also covered in tattoos. She's wearing kind of like a tight chest, white dress that sort of like is like tightened around the center with a belt, like really sort of pushes up her bust, and is wearing like a short skirt with sort of fishnet stockings, and she kind of both of them kind of carry themselves with a lot of confidence and charisma. She kind of gets down, and they you can see the table itself almost looks like everything's been pushed alongside of the floor, and she kind of just pushes her way past and just sort of like she just sort of looks back and smiles at him, and then she like as she's making her way past you, she has like this teethy smile at all sort of all three of you, and just you can see that fangs protruding, and just sort of makes her way down the corridor. The man kind of looks to you and he says, "What are you doing? Can't believe Ulfar let you in. Come on, sit down. If he's let you in, I see, and this is about business. Sorry, mixing business and pleasure is part of my line of work. Nice to meet you. My name is Riker Vigil."
Blossom bounds over to jumps on the chair. She's like, well, I mean, I don't know what you were doing with her. Maybe, you know, fun things. But well, we just came because for business, you know. And she looks at Gertrude.
Of course I am. I am professional as it seems. Please, like I said, sit down. I have to say, I take immediate notice of your friend's garb there. And he starts like picking up like this like fat off the side of this little jar and just starts chewing on it. And he sort of crosses his leg, and he's just like, why on earth do I'm not. There's no trouble with cobalt soul types. What are you doing over here?
Well, my name's Gertrude von Tillage, and this is my friend Blossom Fudwacker.
Yeah, that's me. And I'm missing my dagger.
And we know it's in the tunnels beneath the city. We just want to get the dagger and leave you alone.
Do a persuasion check, because he's just watching very intensely, this guy.
Just like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Yep. What was the check, though?
Persuasion. For Gertrude as well.
Yeah.
And Blossom as well.
Look, I just want my dagger back. You know, I just want to go in, get the demo, and come back out.
How about you shut the fuck up and you listen? You come into my office and interrupt my business, and dressed in the way you are, cobalt soul type, you say tunnels beneath the city like you know what you're talking about. What? Who are you and what do you want?
Gertrude gets out the blasting powder and just dumps it on the desk. And she's like, holds her thing for create bonfire. She's like, we just want the dagger!
Do an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, no.
He smiles and he says, "You're not cobalt, so."
She's just going to raise up her ring of obscuring and cast Fog Cloud.
Ooh!
Oh, wait. Oh, now I can't see.
Okay, yeah, what are you doing? Like, describe to me, what is she trying to do by doing this?
She's just like, I am Cobalt Soul. We only want one dagger. We don't give a shit what's going down.
Look,
But just where's the entrance? That's all I want to know.
you seem awfully desperate, but I have to protect my business ventures, as you probably are well aware. If you're
Just go
cobalt,
get it for us.
What is it to me?
If I go, you say you're missing a dagger someone has stolen from you?
Yeah, my dagger. Very important dagger. Very awesome dagger called Demo.
A dagger.
Well, I mean,
And
if you don't want to...
who stole this dagger from you?
Oh, I don't know, some guy who I threw it at. He went into his back and then we ran away and there's a whole story, but it doesn't matter because now you got the dagger and it's down in your little, slave cave or whatever it is down there. And
Slave
and I
cave.
just
You have quite the imagination, little one.
well, I don't know what you got down there, but I don't care. I just want my dagger.
This is a very strange request to know this. This is I assume this dagger must be worth quite a lot to you.
Yeah, he's the best dagger ever. It's Demo.
Is it magical? I'm very curious.
No, he's just really good at stabbing stuff.
Do a persuasion check, Blossom, just to see if he believes you about this being non-magical.
Yeah.
Alright, I believe you. Non-magical dagger, and you've come barging into my office and interrupting my business, threatening me.
Well, I mean, you can go get it if you want. I just want it.
He's still sitting there thinking for a moment and just says, 1,000 gold.
Well, I mean, Demo's worth more than that, obviously, but well, that doesn't mean I got 1,000 gold.
You got 1,000 gold?
I
will show you exactly where this slave pit underground is. I'll take you there myself. If you don't pay the entry fee, I got a pretty good idea on not Kobold Soul looking into my business. I don't see what Kobold Soul would even have anything wanting to do with my business. So
I don't even know what your business is.
That does not surprise me either. You look like you are genuinely looking for your friend's dagger here. And I'm not saying someone couldn't have, taken it somewhere beneath the city. You seem to know something. I'm not sure what. And that makes me very curious.
Yeah. But curious enough to just take us down there anyway for a dagger.
1,000 gold.
I ain't got 1,000 gold.
If you're serious, you would pay 1,000 gold.
I don't have 1,000 gold.
Neither do I.
Well, let me put it this way. You have two options. 1,000 gold up front, which you say you can't afford. Fair enough. If not, then, well, I'm afraid you would, be a little bit indebted to Rack of Vigil here.
That's okay. We can be in debt and then, She just looks at Gertrude and then whispers and then we just run away.
Do a stealth check.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that?
Gertrude's lost the plot at this point. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
He cast fog cloud. Are we sitting in a fog cloud?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I imagine she heard the drop sort of dissipates a little bit after a while.
She would have cast it just to show him.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were trying to do. Yeah. He looks at you, Blossom, and he doesn't actually seem to catch the whisper.
Nice.
He says, if you wish to be indebted to me, then very well. Otherwise, 1,000 gold offer for no questions asked is, I think, pretty fair for how rude you've been.
Oh, I think we've been really polite, actually.
Well, you have. You see, you're the nice one. I like you. Your friend here, Kobold Soul, though. Very, Very aggressive. I like it. I like you both. I like your chutzpah, as they say in them. Back at Rexentrum, Zemnian types.
Well, no, you got me curious now, though. What is your business down there? If it's not the slave blurs, what is it?
Now you're asking too many questions, but what is it? 1,000 gold, or you work for me?
Well, it depends where you go.
Gertrude do an insight check to see how, when she went through the bar, how well armed and how did these people actually seem?
Yeah, do an insight check for me.
Is this guy dangerous, or is he just oh fuck?
Hard to tell, Gertrude. You get the impression that, just based on the way this guy's acting, that it seems like he certainly could. He certainly could be a dangerous man. You really don't know. You're not sure.
Yeah.
But it seems, he seems very confident, is what I'll say.
I mean, she looks at Gertrude and then looks back. Like, maybe we could just find it on our own. 1,000 gold. That's a lot.
Yeah.
If if your friend whoever stole your dagger has got where I think it has gotten, you can trust me that you will not get down there without my help.
But there's a chance, right? But then if we get down, if we get down there by ourselves, then and there's bad stuff down there, then we could just tell the police people.
Just repeat that, Blossom. I blanked out for a sec.
She said that she would. Well, if we find it ourselves and there's bad stuff down there, then we just tell the police. They usually did.
You could go ahead and show you if you told the police you told the grounds guard or whoever, then sure, that would be such a big problem for someone like me.
Yeah, it would actually. Yeah.
I'm sure it would.
Yeah, it would be a very big problem. Yeah.
I'm getting impatient, to be quite honest with you. Are you you willing to work together, or?
I mean, it really depends, on what you do and what you're gonna want from being in debt,
Well, let us say I have something I need to get out of the city. Taken to a little place called Shady Creek Run. You heard of the place?
I think you probably Blossom rolled a history check. Gertrude just knows it. Gertrude, you would know that Shady Creek Run is a place beyond the reach of the Dwendalian Empire to the north. It's near the Corner Breach, where you sort of cut through the mountains. It's very much a my brain is not working today. It's very much a place of where you'd know that there are organized crime families. That there's lots of shanty towns and hovels there. But the most thing you'd know is that it's a definitely those who choose to live in Croaky Run do so to avoid persecution or prosecution that awaits within the Empire. It's a very brutal lifestyle afforded by a land of overt moral flexibility. Firion, you would know very much this place.
Yeah, he certainly would.
Well, if he's just getting something out of the sea, that's probably easy enough, right? Gertrude, I think we need to take it just because I really want to get the ammo back.
It's your choice, Blossom.
Yeah,
The
okay.
offer still
Yeah,
stands on the 1,000 gold, no questions asked. But you know, the clock's ticking.
well,
Maybe your whoever's down there, you know, maybe they get bored and go somewhere else real soon.
oh, well, then I'll just follow them then, I guess. But, but well, I really want Demo back, and it seems like the only way, Gertrude. What do you think?
I. I. If you really want him back, then. Um. Yeah, we should do it.
All right, easy to deal. Let me He gets out a bit of parchment on the table, and he places it on the paper, and he slides it over to you with an ink quill. If either two touch it, you both get the impression this paper is magical.
What's okay?
If you want to sign on
Magical paper.
the dotted line,
Why is there magical paper?
it's just for insurance, isn't it?
Okay. You see her like pick up the pen.
Blossom, maybe we shouldn't do this.
But am I?
I know, but we don't want to be joint anything we can't back out of.
Yeah, but we just, do the thing, Just do the thing. Yeah, but I really want them,
How about I leave the offer of 1,000 gold pieces on the table for 24 hours. Beyond that, then I'm afraid the offer is gone. You can find your funds in that amount of time.
How long have they got to find the money?
24 hours, he said.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah. We'll make you 5 days at least.
No, 24 hours.
5 days.
I have been more than reasonable.
What? 4 days?
24 hours, there's no negotiation.
2 days. That's my final offer.
I like you, you're very funny.
Gertrude gives out a big sigh. She's like, how about I give you something that you could use in the future to make a lot of money, because the only supplier of it has been killed.
Go on.
What was the cider called?
It was called... let me just quickly look. It was called... Thick Gut Cider.
You had a thick gut cider?
Who hasn't?
Well, he's dead.
Right, and what good does that do me?
Well, no one makes it anymore, so there's going to be a shortage. And I happen to be the only person who has the recipe.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that is a tempting offer. 1,000 gold pieces. By tomorrow this time. You are Kobold, so yes, I'm sure they will offer you some up front.
Kind of shrugs. I don't know. I don't know if I am.
Guess you'll have to go find out if you want this dagger bad enough.
I do. You do. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna sign it, Gertrude. You don't have to sign it. I'll just sign it, and it's just me.
Where's Virion at the moment? Is he...
He's a spider, and if Blossom starts reaching to sign that, paper, he's gonna bite the shit out of her hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Picks it up. Is that the pen?
He bites
Yeah.
the shit out of her hand.
Blossom,
Yeah!
you only have to find a few hundred gold. I'm sure there's something we can do.
That's a lot,
We could always
like.
play some bets down the old siege ball arena.
Good, I guess. But then they'd have to win.
Indeed, they would.
Okay, well.
Seems like you've got plenty of options to me to come up with the money.
Okay.
Gertrude just stand up. Come on.
Have a good day. And he kind of smiles at you, the shit-eating grin.
She just sticks her tongue out at him like,
He just like makes his smile go even wider with the teeth grinning through. And I think for now we will end today's session there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,